May 10th, 2023, 2:45 p.m. I am thinking about the world's ability to give understanding. And I am trying to hold understanding in a nutshell. Where I think that understanding itself is made recognizable in its ability to say that all shortcomings are only comparable to our own desires. Then every single action that itself would give a notion of understanding plays on some physical notion Everything is so clear. Does the clarity itself actually make it do what it does? If I was actually able to make something the same that was completely different, so unclear that it actually assigns values to being a give and take of our own senses. If it's actually by any amount of how it is that we operate. Then I think that we only perceive some sense of things. If we are told how something could look. If there is some place that allows things to be so close, but obviously different examples, how much variety do we say that there is in the world that we see? Before it is that we say that we can only see two things. Do they actually do it for this reason? If there is some clever other way? What when a thing is so close to being? And what it says is certainly clear? Is there an obvious failure in the air? Then which order takes precedence where? How much of each thing? In what way? And if these things shouldn't do anything, except for if they're on some table, you see. Like it's just simply 3 to 3. Where do I start off with visions of the day? Is this vision mine or is something else at play? If I can't say that it was completely my way, then can't I say that if there is the ability for things to express some difference while categorically being the same thing forever in some way? How much time do we bring? Yeah, I'll tell you what I have that's at play. It's mostly just about what you can work with given all the things of this past season that itself gives some sense of a greater reason. Follows no instructions, then what do you see? Me going and spending all day chiseling rock until I make columns that talk. Or working with metal and creating some pyramid that even in some barren place like this, no one, and I say no one, would actually miss something like 5 by 5.
What's that? Say hello.
Oh, is your name B?
Yeah, I didn't know it was here.
Oh, you didn't know I was here?
Yeah, we were gone.
Oh, you were?
And Grandma was babysitting.
Oh, she was?
I still am.
Then, do we say that there's a secret if we didn't know how to do it without instruction? Like everything that we witnessed, we could just look at and know what to do with it? Then, is it actually not unclear from the beginning? And the secret is
Hasn't been used because you've been gone for so long.
I hate it. I liked it when you lived here. Did you go look in your old room and stuff? Can you believe you all lived in that one bedroom?
Let's let her go potty for a minute. You want me to say more? You want me to stay in or go out? You looking for Papa?
Stay by the door.
God, it's your hair on the carpet. It's so soft.
then the more that you follow clarity, you become the secret, you see. What even a man on a great stage who feels that he has all the response for his age would then say that when death comes, it's just for him, is it not? And if it's not just for him, then has he ever lived? Then by doing this in such a way that takes all these things of color and things that are clear, like clarity is just the shortcut for color, you see. And if you know that, you can shortcut the shortcut. And actually then what happens then is if things work out according to the projection, good for them. And you can say that if things go wrong or awry, then it was certainly less alive, and then it was just for you. Which means that you already interacted with the secret. And if you are carried away, then the secrets will say how it worked out, you see. And if it doesn't work, then is there actually more skill to work? In how you didn't necessarily break anything you see when the instructions were so clearly? How much instructions can there be before we're just looking at something that has no instructions? By which, if that is the case and we go simply off of looks, then we can say that all thieves are actually, when science gets on its knees, where then if we wait until things are actually workable, we then make something out of it by how much of what we put into it. That according to how many secrets we have, should have still played along with it. Like, all studies themselves are going to say that they are the best. But if I bring this up at my own behest, then I could probably use a million different words to make an object that puts looks up against now I forget the word. Is it sure? Says sure, sure. It almost sounds like another language. Maybe it is if you say enough in one language. Let's be honest with ourselves. How clear can things get before we say we're going to forget or move on from it until we come to the place that's so clear that we make a choice and choose to not know it? Then is it a secret or a talent? And are there many people with many talents? Maybe if we were to look at that like we looked at this, then it would be like there's a being named talent who is just doing this. And every time that somebody receives a talent, talent chooses to keep it a secret. For I could say the more that we look at containers themselves, do we then look at what contains ourselves? Where normalcy is only according to what else we've seen, which would still be according to this. And in regards to our own experience with sharing, if we were to share itself with this, it would be like some silent sharing where we wrote down thanks in some way that we could present who we give thanks to almost each and every day. That way, when we shared something, it would be like going without saying. Then by saying that's not it, is that where it is, or have I lost it? Is that then more real? If I say no deal, then it's actually a part of the process to heal. Does it then actually become more of something different once done? Accepting then really there's still only two places, what's done and what isn't. Thinks about the law and then thinks to myself, hey, I could probably go upset something really plain by putting this in the way. It is something that is useful but makes no sense in what it says. So then I could say, well, I could go throw it this way, or I could go to some eagle's nest, which is like actually the recruiting office. I could go there and say something like that if I actually really wanted to start something now, probably. Because the thing about actually playing that game of war, you see, is that if it's so dumb that it's on the cards, then it's not really dumb because it's fun. And if I am to just put something in the way that says, hey, this follows the plan, you see, the plan of warmth. The plan is so plain that it's like a seed, but it's a seed that's too big to see. That's why you don't know what it's for, you see. Then if I was to say, funny enough, if I owned a truck at this point in time, you want to know what I think would look good in my time would to be to take a gun and shoot a bunch of holes in the bed. Like it's actually some boat back there instead. And then if I can say that, can I not spin all this stuff? If really it's like I can't actually do that, then I can call out something's bluff. Because I'm not really paying. Don't you know that everything you think you'd pay for is actually just what it is that you wished for? But the point in time between where you make a wish and where you make a choice is the fact that what you wished for is more wishes. The one thing that you're not supposed to do, you did. That's like setting up a kissing booth for animals. The funny thing is that it might actually work in reality when all the kissing booths that you see on TV seem to work. Like, actually, that's how signatures are. They're just kissing things to say that I know you. That's why if we set up some kissing booth for animals, it would be like we're just walking lips. But if you go around kissing animals instead of chicks, which is like some point between the animal kingdom and the human one you see, then actually kisses aren't simple. They're something that's hairy. Then we've actually made kissing difficult, you see. So now I could set up a booth that says not playing, and really that would work in all realities without saying.
Oh, that's like right in half, Austin. Right at the stem.
I just let the still
Right in half.
speak.
Let's see if you can move forward.
Let's not.
Ow!